Hello, tea family. How is everybody doing tonight? I want to welcome everybody here. Just know that we are trying some new technology out tonight. And so just bear with us a little bit as things are happening. The other thing I want to say is welcome for those of you joining us for the very first time. For those of us joining for the very first time, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to say hello in the chat or comments, depending on which platform you're watching us on. And let us know what you're drinking tonight. I know what I'm going to be drinking tonight. But like I said, give us a little extra grace because we are trying a new piece of technology today. And yeah, it's already kind of not working how we wanted it to. So it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Welcome back. We are going to be talking about Sunlit Orchard. Totally blanked for a second, everybody. It is our newest tea blend that's going to be starting on March 1st. VIPs, you can go ahead and get it now. But I did want to say we're going to be talking about that today. The people that have tried it, my tea tasters, they already love it. And I'm not surprised because when we tried it, we were really enjoying it too. It's warm, soothing, has a little bit of sweetness, has a little bit of zing in it. So what if I told you it tasted like an orchard kind of bursting with flavor in your cup? Wouldn't that be awesome? All right. Well, you're going to see me reaching across, everybody. I am really sorry. We're trying to get this all set as we end up with the new technology. One of the things that we are doing is talking about this, but say hello. I see Diane is enjoying some lemon zinger tonight. That's awesome. That is going to be similar in flavor a little bit to what we're doing because Sunlit Orchard has a golden infusion, spicy ginger. It's got some freeze-dried McIntosh apples from New England, some vanilla bean, and then also to balance everything out, a delicate like blue cornflower. And so that is kind of what the ingredients are. Kim's drinking Harmony. It's almost time for Harmony. Harmony starts in April, everybody. So Kim has obviously been hoarding her Harmony for almost a year. And Stephanie's drinking Jade Chai tonight. That's awesome. I love that we're having some more of the summery brews as it's a warm day here in the Midwest, comparatively speaking. It has been sub-zero and zero and teens for a while. And we're actually, what did we say? Are we in the 50s today? 50-something today? It's definitely a good thing. Kim's like, yep, she's a hoarder. That's okay. That's okay. But we wanted to go ahead. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get everything all set. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sunlit Orchard. And one of the things that we're going to say is that feel free to mark it down. VIPs, you can go ahead and reach out and get it now. But this is just not working for me today. Sorry, everybody. You're going to see my hand kind of coming and going. I moved my notes to a different spot. And yeah, you know, technology. It's a Sunday. So what do we love about this? Well, I'm actually going to take my phone down for a second.
Ryan likes the Sunlit Orchard. And she had Harmony Friday.
She had Harmony on Friday?
Yep.
Super, super cool. Harmony is so yummy. It actually is one of my favorite green teas. But let's see if I can get this to work. Yep. Okay. I think I fixed the problem, which always makes me happy. Gotta love it when you go live and that's when all of a sudden we tried to fix the lighting. We tried to fix everything else. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about each of the ingredients, why we chose them, and different things like that. One of the things that I want to say is we start this one off with ginger root. Now, I know this is ginger, and I'm hopefully everybody can see it back here, but ginger is really great. It adds kind of like that warmth. It's kind of spicy a little bit. It can be very soothing when done well. It's going to add the depth of flavor in our tea here. It's also really good for digestion and immunity. And I know there's a lot of people sick around us right now, and it's that season for allergies. So something to keep in mind. Now, the next one we have is freeze-dried Macintosh apples. Now, we all know that we love these in our appealing and in the Starlight pear. However, we also picked them for here because we wanted the idea of the ginger balanced with some natural sweetness, the crispness of a fresh picked apple. It's also not going to overwhelm the blend. And so, yes, we do still have some freeze dried. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't know if you heard that, but there's still a snap in this freeze dried apple. I'm going to just have to eat this later. What a shame, huh? Okay, and so we wanted some of the apple in there. And many teas use apple flavorings in there, but we like using the freeze-dried apples because really the flavor is held until it's released in the tea, and then it comes out. Now, the next thing we're going to talk a little bit about is got to get used to the light and where to hold everything. The blue cornflower petals. Now, this might seem unusual, but they are first of all, they're beautiful. They add a very, very subtle floral note. And then when matched with the other ingredients, not only do they make it visually stunning, but their deep blue hues, they add that subtle floral, and they balance the ginger unbelievably well. And they also bring out our final ingredient in the tea, which is chopped up vanilla bean. Now, that's what's going to give us a smooth, creamy mouthfeel. The vanilla is going to kind of tie everything together and give it a luxurious, cozy sip kind of a feel to it. So now that I talked about it, let's go ahead and make some. Now, obviously, we have a small jar. And when we say hand blended, we are literally talking small jars like this. Now, this is how we do it. We're going to put all our ingredients in. Thank you, everybody. Needs to say thank you to the handy dandy assistant. He actually helped weigh out a lot of these ingredients so we could go. We'll put the apple in there. Now, it actually takes more apple than could fit in this, but, got to do a little bit of tuning here and there. The blue corn flour. And then we have our ginger. Can't let that one escape. Now, I'm going to show you some of this can be very gentle. And so all I do is I go ahead and I just literally turn it like this. And this is how we mix. It's a gentle way. We're not breaking any tea that we put in there, for the tea leaves and things like that. And it's done. So if my handy dandy assistant will go get the water. Now we are going to brew this like we would an herbal blend, which means you could go anywhere from say 205 to 212. I like to go about 210 to 212. I mean, I like it boiling, but it doesn't have to be that full rolling boil. 2.5 grams, you saw pretty much just a standard of one of our perfect cups. And then we're going to steep it. Now, some people like to steep their herbals a little bit longer. They'll say like 5 to 7 minutes. Really, you can stick to the same as a black tea and just have that 3 minutes for your first brew, 4 minutes for your second brew, and 5 minutes for your third brew. And if my handy dandy will help pour.
You get my 3 minutes on.
Oh, yes. So he's my timer today. Go ahead. And so that is, an average teaspoon for about 6 to 8 ounces. And there we go. Now, he has started the timer for 3 minutes for our first brew. If you're going to want to sweeten this, it's going to have some sweetness right automatically from the apple. Then what I'm going to say is I wouldn't necessarily go with like a standard sugar. This is one where I would drizzle some honey or even potentially some real 100% real maple syrup. That is going to be much better. Now, I'll give you a couple bonuses while we're waiting for it to brew. If you wanted it as like a cold brew, you could brew it hot and make it colder. If you were going to do the standard cold brew and put it in really cold water, I would probably do, instead of 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces, I would probably do 1.5 to 2, just because it's going to stand out there longer and an herbal. But then you could make an amazing cold brew iced tea over it. You could pour it over ice, and if you could add some milk, you could even add some oat milk or vanilla oat milk or something like that, make a nice spicy apple cooler. You could instead brew it cold and then add some sparkling water or some ginger ale and get a nice fizzy apple ginger spritz kind of a thing. But something else you could do is, I did kind of mention it, is if you had it warm and you had warm almond or oat milk, you could definitely have a nice latte out of this. It's not exactly a chai latte, but it is definitely, I would say, a creamy orchard latte. Let's call it that for right now. So those are some other things that you can actually do with this tea, and just some ideas of different ways. And I'm kind of trying to catch Diane. I love the fact that you love that. And let me put that up. Just, it's a lot to read right there. So Sunlit Orchard, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The vanilla bean under the flavor, unbelievable. And then, of course, everybody loves Harmony. I can't blame them. Like, I love Harmony too. So let's talk a little bit, while we're waiting for this to brew, about some of the potential health benefits of the ingredients. Google would tell us, because I'm not trying to be a healthcare professional at all, but Google would tell us that ginger aids in digestion, supports immunity, helps fight inflammation. Apples are really rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, and they're going to have a natural sweetness. The blue corn flour actually supports relaxation, and it's going to add in that elegant floral note. Oh, there's our cue. So we'll take this out. Put it over here. And then can you see that color, that really, really light golden hue? I'm going to let it cool because it is quite warm. I can smell, you get ginger with some sweetness and the vanilla in there. I can't wait to have some. Okay. So that brings us the relaxation of the blue corn flour. And then, vanilla beans, they're naturally soothing. It's a comfort flavor for many of us, but really built for relaxation. And it's caffeine free for those of you that either by choice or for health reasons can't have any caffeine. There is no camellia sinensis in this, so you are good to go. Now, what do I like to do? If you've been here at any point in time, I love to talk about food and tea pairings. Well, number 1, this is perfect with a cinnamon scone, some shortbread, a slice of apple pie. I would even say like apple muffins would be perfect. It's going to bring out a little bit more of the apple in this. Now, a surprising pairing for it hot would be some mild cheeses like brie or even some goat cheeses. The contrast between the cheeses and the actual herbal tea will definitely tickle your palate. One of the things, if you were having this first at breakfast and you're trying to have a healthier breakfast, some oatmeal or granola that has some honey drizzled over it with this on the side, that will completely complement the apple and the vanilla, and everything else is going to complement the nutty, toasty flavors perfectly. So some ideas. I don't always talk about breakfast so much, but I thought I would give you some ideas. And I see the handy dandy assistant has his own twist. Bacon is not a bad thing. If you can eat bacon, An applewood smoked bacon would really bring out some of the apple flavors. But I did have some of this with some turkey bacon, and it was just as delicious. So, okay. And then Stephanie's saying you can use the cool tea and powdered sugar as a glaze for the apple muffins. Absolutely. If you made a big pot of this, and sometimes your pots don't always fill the number of cups because I don't always have teacups, and you have a little bit extra, you could use that powdered sugar on the glaze for your apple muffins, and it's going to really enhance all the flavors. Great idea. So what's the story behind the Sunlit Orchard blend? Well, we really were listening to you all in the tea family that were talking to us about wanting more caffeine-free blends, things that you could drink. We talk to the people at events all the time, and we find out about they have heart issues and they just can't have caffeine anymore. They have a medicine that they have to take for their health, and that medicine can't be taken with any kind of caffeine. Or people that just can't drink caffeine after a certain period of time or choose not to. And so we really wanted to kind of expand our caffeine-free blends this year. But we also don't want them, herbal can be done a lot of floral or fruit or, sprayed on flavors. And we don't do that here. So we wanted to come up with some unique flavors that were only available. And this is where we came up with the idea of, it was a really pretty day. It was a really pretty sunset coming in with a lot of sun. And we were thinking, hey, maybe we'll do an apple ginger. And this actually started off as an apple ginger blend. But what we really found is we liked it as a ginger apple. So ginger is the main flavor with the apple underneath. And it worked really, really well. We did try one version. The very first tester we sent out to our testers, we had lemongrass in it, and it was too much. It added complexity, but it was too far away from what we were trying to create. And it was a distracting complexity is kind of how we would say. So
You lost control of the chat.
I lost control of the chat. Let's see. Muffins next week from Stephanie. Use the hot tea to make your oatmeal. You can use the hot tea to make your oatmeal, get more flavor in there. It's like when we make mocktails, I'm always saying, take some extra tea, turn it into your ice cubes, and as it melts, it doesn't water down. And now people want oatmeal and muffins. See, I've got you all ready to eat breakfast tomorrow morning. That's hysterical. I love it. I love it. I would rather have the muffins than the oatmeal. Sorry, Stephanie. We're going to have to be different on that. I'm going to agree with Diane on that one. Okay. Because I am definitely more of a muffin gal than an oatmeal gal. That is just so good. It has like that spicy flavor first. You definitely get the ginger and then smooths right into the apple. I don't really get the floral notes specifically, but you can tell there's some complexity in the background. And then with the smoothness of the finish of the vanilla, it's just so good. And you can get it now.
Kim wants it this second.
Oh, I love it. So Kim's doing breakfast for supper, which we do on occasion. Omelets and waffles at your house right now. So I think we all need to get in the car, drive to Kim's. We'll have waffles and omelets. I'll bring the Sunlit Orchard. We'll be all set. Maybe not. She's probably tired and needs to get ready to go to work tomorrow. But, this is available March 1st. Keep in mind that also on March 1st, we will be saying goodbye to Winter's Kiss until next year. And so we have a couple of changes. If you're a VIP, like I had one of my VIPs reach out to me right before the live and said, hey, I know you're about to go live, but I just wanted to say I wanted to get my order in on this, and they wanted to get a couple of things. And so I do also want to remind you all, and I'm going to put the word in the chat again.
But as long as you bring the teas, Kim's okay with coming over.
See, as long as I bring the teas, is that all I have to do is bring the teas? I think we could do that. The code word in the chat or comments that I just put in there, remember for the month of March, that gets you 10% off our Morning Irish and Irish Sunrise blends in celebration of it being St. Patrick's Day month. So remember, you have that. And VIPs, you can go ahead and order Sunlit Orchard now, or you can wait till March 1st, which is Saturday.
Sure, sounds good.
Somebody tell me when March 1st. Anyway, on March 1st. But we can get that. We can get you set. You can do like the VIP that was messaging me earlier, and they're like, I want some stuff from February and I want to pre-order stuff from March. Can we do all that in one? And it's not a problem. We can do that. So
March 1st is right after February 31st.
You know what? I think there's not February 31st. I'm pretty confident that it ends on the 28th. Thank you, Diane. I knew I needed someone to help me reel in the handy dandy assistant this time. He's out of control. You know what? I think you should give up coffee and I'll give up tea for February 29th, 30th, and 31st this year.
Deal.
You heard it, guys. He's going to give up coffee for 3 days.
And you give up tea.
Yeah. Thankfully, there is no 29th, 30th, or 31st, so I don't have to give up tea. Oh, well. So sad for you. Okay. I do want to also say that I have been putting together a couple of special combination items, and you should be looking for those to come out in March in time for Mother's Day and Easter and some things like that. So there's definitely a lot to look forward to. We are going to be diving into Morning Irish and Irish Sunrise next Sunday, but I've done a lot of talking. I love it. Can we pretend there's a 29th this year and get more leap year tea? So that is one of the teas that is only every 4 years. I'm sorry that one is, but we are working on a specialty when we do our live sale event that we had kind of been kicking around at the beginning of August or April 4. I'm trying to get to August, people. Can you tell? I'm trying to get to the summer. But in early April, we will have a white tea that'll be only available at that sale. We have that kind of we're working on. It won't be the same as the leap year tea. You're going to stock up next time. I know you will. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now while I sip on some of this delicious tea. So I want you to put in the comments or the chat, how do you think you would enjoy the Sunlit Orchard tea that I've been talking about today? Hot, iced, or somewhere in a fun recipe like we've started to talk about in glazes and muffins and oatmeal. So go ahead and put in the chat or comments, how do you think you would enjoy Sunlit Orchard? Don't be shy. You guys haven't been shy all day. And then all of a sudden I ask you to type something and nothing. I love it. I love it. So, you know, that's one of the things I like when we're really versatile here is when you have a tea and you can do so many different things with that, what's make it fun. So Stephanie's like, she wants it hot and in recipes. She's going to be making apple muffins this week. So Stephanie, if you make the apple muffins on Friday, you could probably bring them to the study on Saturday and we could all try them. I'm just saying, you know, if that was something you were interested in. Kim says hot, but she's now also intrigued with cooking with it. That's what I love about tea. There's so many different things that you can do with it. You can sit, the handy dandy assistant would like to sit in a snowbank and sip hot tea. You know, we do still have some snowbanks in the front yard and the backyard. You're welcome. Amber is hot and in oatmeal. See, you start thinking outside of the box. I love that. I love that. Let's see what else we have. Oatmeal cookies. Diane's making oatmeal cookies. We are tea all day households. Christy is a tea all day household. She likes it hot and iced. I love that, Christy. Thank you for sharing. Well, Kim, it's okay. Kim put in the chat that he better go quick because it was warm here. But I will tell you that we've still got huge piles of snow in certain places. We actually got quite a bit. So,
north side of the house.
And then Diane, vanilla crisp cookies. That would be amazing. Really bringing out some more of the vanilla. All right, you guys did great with that question. Are you ready for another one? When is your favorite time to enjoy a caffeine-free herbal tea moment? So for me, it's definitely not first thing in the morning. I am definitely more of an afternoon or evening kind of person for my caffeine free, unless I'm in a very specific mood for it. So Kim is nighttime before bed. See, that's perfect. That is the perfect time for me. I need that caffeine in the morning. There's a reason why 90% of the time I'm drinking Serene Sunrise first thing in the morning. Diane is definitely evening for her caffeine free. Stephanie is in the evening. She's crocheting, and hubby and she are watching something on TV. Christy is after dinner while watching TV. See, it's that perfect relaxing moment. I love it. I love finding out when you all drink your tea. It's one of my favorite questions that I ask every once in a while on social media because it's so much fun. And really enjoy that. Again, remember, Irish, 10% off next week. And then questions. Does anybody have any questions about? I love it. Amber, after my son is in bed and before I go to sleep. Yeah, I get that. He is so adorable, but he is a bundle of energy. They all are at that certain little age. But questions about our Sunlit Orchard or anything else that you wanted to ask tea related? I have to say that, otherwise the handy dandy assistant will ask me some kind of, if it's such and such a time here, what time is it there? It's too late in the day for that kind of a question. Anybody else have any other questions?
What's the 23rd element on the elemental chart?
Okay, we're not doing the periodic table of elements right now. No, we're not doing that. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning about kind of why we did Sunlit Orchard and kind of the ingredients, and then we got to make some, and then this is going to get packaged up tonight. I did have I have an order that we'll get ready. How long for the first brew? Again, great question. One of the things that I'll tell people that kind of help is I really pretty much follow the train of tea drinkers that say your black tea and your herbals are pretty close to being the same. So I would say 3 minutes, for your first brew. That's long enough for the apple to rehydrate and you to get good flavor. 4 minutes for the second brew, 5 minutes for the third brew. The good thing about a caffeine-free herbal blend is if you accidentally go a little bit longer, it's not going to hurt it at all. The ingredients aren't going to make it more bitter. So that's always a good thing. Cool. Great question. Thank you for asking, Kim. Anybody else? All right. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all next Sunday. We're going to be talking about morning Irish and Irish sunrise and a couple of other things. I think we're even going to have a special little treat with that, but we'll see how the schedule goes this week. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week. Enjoy the warm weather while we have it. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.